What's up everyone, my name's Joe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope you find the information in this video to be helpful and beneficial. If you're watching this video, I imagine you're probably interested in pursuing a career in medicine, but you're not entirely sure if you should go to PA school or go to medical school. Well, today I'm going to be sharing some of the differences in training between PAs and physicians and which career path may be right for you. And if you like this video, please hit that like button and give this video a thumbs up as it greatly benefits the channel. So first, let's talk about prereqs. For most PA schools, prerequisite courses are going to include 1 year of general chemistry with the lab, 1 year of general biology with the lab, 1 semester of anatomy, and 1 semester of physiology with the lab, or it could be a combined course that is 1 year long that includes anatomy and physiology, 1 semester of microbiology, and potentially 1 to 2 semesters of a social sciences course, which usually encompasses either sociology or psychology. And some schools may require some sort of statistics or math course as a prerequisite. Unlike medical school prereqs, you will not be required to take any physics, and most schools will not require you to take organic chemistry either. However, it definitely wouldn't hurt if you did decide to take it and did well in the course. And as far as standardized tests go, the majority of schools will require that you take the GRE as an admittance prerequisite. However, if you've already taken the MCAT because you weren't entirely sure if you wanted to apply to medical school or PA school, there are some programs out there that will take the MCAT in place of the GRE. And as far as degrees go, pretty much all programs are going to require a 4-year degree prior to matriculating into their program. So now let's talk about medical school. Most medical schools are going to require that you take 1 year of general biology with the lab, 1 year of general chemistry with the lab, 1 year of general physics with the lab, 1 year of organic chemistry with the lab, 1 semester of biochemistry, 2 semesters of social science courses, which usually end up being psychology and sociology, and 2 semesters of math courses, which would usually end up being Calculus 1 and either Calculus 2 or a statistics course in place of that. These prerequisite courses are pretty much required in order to take the MCAT and do well on it. And so, by taking these courses, not only are you completing the prerequisites in order to get into medical school, but you will also be slowly preparing yourself to take the MCAT. 2 more courses that could be helpful on the MCAT would also be taking a human physiology course and also a genetics course. However, neither of these courses are required for most schools to matriculate into medical school. And all medical schools will require that you have a 4-year degree before matriculating into their program. So you may be wondering, how long is training for each program? Well, let's start with PA programs. PA programs take anywhere from 24 to 27 months typically to complete. The first year of the curriculum is primarily doing a lot of studying and taking exams in order to build your foundational knowledge, while the second 12 to 15 months will give you an opportunity to rotate through different hospitals and different medical practices in different areas of medicine to get well-rounded hands-on training prior to going out and practicing once you graduated. However, after completion of your PA program, you will need to take and pass the PA National Certification Exam before you're able to practice as a fully licensed PA. Medical school is designed in a pretty similar way. However, instead of having 1 year of preclinicals, you will have 2 years of preclinical studying, followed by another 2 years of rotations for a total of 4 years of schooling. After your 2 years of preclinical studying, you will be required to take part 1 of your national board exams in order to start your rotations. And once you've passed these boards, you'll spend your 3rd and 4th year of medical school rotating in different areas of medicine to hopefully help you decide which area of medicine you'd want to specialize in once you graduate. And sometime between your 3rd and 4th year of medical school, you will be required to take the National Board Exams Part 2, and you must pass these exams in order to graduate from medical school. And then, once you finally graduated, depending on which specialty you go into, you will do at least a minimum of 3 years of residency training. And while you will get paid during this period of training, your salary will be reduced to about 20 to 25% of what an attending physician's salary would normally be. So, overall, training for PA school comes out to be about 2 to 2.5 years of training after college. And training to become an attending physician comes out to be at least a minimum of 7 years post-college, with the maximum being around 13 years, depending on your desired field of medicine. Now, let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages to becoming a PA versus a physician? First off, let's start with the advantages. The training is overall shorter in PA school, which means that you will be required to take out less loans and you'll be able to start earning a salary much earlier on. Speaking of salary, because you don't have residency training after you graduate, you're able to start working from the get-go and making pretty much a full-time salary from the moment you graduate and pass your licensing exam. This is great for being able to pay off your loans and achieving financial freedom earlier on. Your salary starting out will probably be closer to around $80,000 to $90,000 per year. But as you continue to build up your skills and continue practicing as a PA, you may potentially see your salary increase as high as $200,000 per year, depending on what field you go into. And this leads us into our last advantage of going to PA school. One more huge advantage is the flexibility that PAs have in terms of their desired field of medicine. Becoming a PA gives you the opportunity to switch between different fields of medicine after you've already graduated. So if after, let's say, 5 to 6 years of working in an emergency room, you decide that you want to switch to an outpatient care clinic, or let's say go work for a dermatologist or a cardiologist, you can apply for jobs in that area of medicine and simply receive on-the-job training for that desired field. Now, let's talk disadvantages. One of the main disadvantages to choosing the PA route will be the fact that your scope of practice will ultimately be limited to whatever your supervising physician is comfortable with you doing. More than likely, if you're well-trained and really know what you're doing and hardworking, the physician is going to take notice, and they'll probably increase your responsibilities, and they may even eventually trust you to run the practice by yourself. However, ultimately, this is going to be physician dependent, and you may have to do some job hunting in order to find an environment that suits the way that you want to practice medicine. So now, let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages to becoming a physician. First, let's talk about the advantages. As a physician, you have a wide variety of practice options, depending on which field of medicine you decide to go into. You may have the ability to be in charge of your own practice if you choose to build and run your own practice. You also have the option to become an employee and work for a hospital or work for a larger organization. There are many doctors that get together and form groups, and you could join a group practice and become part owner in that group. Some specialties will even allow you to become an independent contractor, where you can negotiate deals with local hospitals and local groups about how you would like to set up your schedule and ultimately practice medicine. As far as salaries go, there is a wide range depending on which area of medicine you go into. But for the most part, your salary will range anywhere from around $180,000 on the lower end to anywhere in the mid 6 figures. And now, let's talk disadvantages. One potential disadvantage is the amount of training required to become a physician by comparison. It requires a lot of time and financial sacrifice in order to become an attending physician. But if you enter a field that you love, it can be well worth the delayed gratification. Speaking of different fields, another downside to becoming a physician is the fact that once you've decided on a specialty and have applied and finished your residency training in that specialty, you're pretty much stuck practicing in that area of medicine, unless you're willing to go back and repeat a new residency in a different field of medicine, or potentially apply for a fellowship and become a specialist in whatever field you've chosen. So, for example, let's say I decided to go into emergency medicine. I did my 3 years of residency training, and I've been out in practice for 5 to 6 years, and I decide that after working in emergency medicine, I've decided that I actually have a passion for dermatology. Well, I wouldn't just be able to switch into that field of medicine and receive on-the-job training in dermatology. I would have to go back and reapply to dermatology residency, complete my 4 years of dermatology residency, and only then would I be able to start practicing as an attending dermatologist. Overall, both fields are wonderful career paths that are valuable and necessary in order for our healthcare system to function. And at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you want to sacrifice more time and go into greater financial debt in order to have more autonomy and responsibility, or if you would prefer to have less of a training commitment, but could potentially be limited in your scope of practice. Regardless of whichever field you choose, I have no doubt that you will find a work environment that you enjoy, and that you will more than likely meet some amazing people on your journey to becoming a healthcare professional. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give that video a thumbs up and hit that like button. It really helps out the channel with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you enjoyed the content in this video and would like to see more, please, by all means, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate all the support I can get. Lastly, if you have any other questions about medicine or just life in general, feel free to leave those questions in the comment section down below. I would be happy to make a video answering any questions that you may have. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.